Welcome, sir. All right, good to have you. It's time for us to move on to the Goodwill messages very quickly. As also a moment we've been waiting for to hear from Mr. Alebiosu is the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of First Bank of Nigeria Limited, appointed in June 2024 with over 28 years of experience in banking and financial services. He has expertise in risk management, corporate banking, and project financing across various sectors. Before he became the Managing Director, he is from the University of Lagos and the London School of Economics and an alumnus of Harvard Business School. Mr. Alebiosu is a member of several companies, the MD CEO, First Bank Nigeria.
All protocols observed. And let me say good morning. It's been an interesting day because I've listened to many speakers and I've seen many people that were awarded many awardees. And I can say that I observed some things. Our brother that just finished speaking said he was in UK. And so he had foreign education. Right. And he was able to speak about skills. Dr. Afolabi had his master's in US in geology. And he came back and he set up his ISAF25. Mr. Balaki has LLM Harvard, which means also he has foreign education. So I've seen patterns and I'm asking myself, would that validate the fact that foreign education actually brightens the mind and create opportunities? I happen to also have schooled my master's degree, London School of Economics. I also did my AMP Harvard. I was at Harvard MD School of Government. And I've seen my wife went to Manchester. And I told my kids when they were growing up to say, what I benefited, let me share with you. So they are also trying to see that. I still always tell them that the purpose of sending you abroad or we going abroad is not because we want to work abroad. I came back immediately I finished my master's. I came back to Nigeria for several reasons. I love Nigeria and I believe that will be the best place for me to tap my potentials. I also told my kids, once we finish, don't waste my time. You have to come back to Nigeria. Because there's no point running around in Canada or US. If I build houses in Lekki, I will sell it. I will make 10 times that your salary in Canada or US. So I'm not going to waste my time running around in cities. But you are supposed to go in there and have knowledge, experience, and also see the skills. And I'm sure if you have done medical in UK or US, and you see the sheer size of equipment you see when they are trying to go through you, you'll be impressed that if you are trained under this environment, you are likely to understand things better than where you used to be. And I'm sure many of us will have seen people who recognize something here, and when they prove further overseas, it will be different from what we're seeing. Because they have advanced technology, and if you're trained with those, you will see. Also in engineering, I mean, if you enter engineering lab of top universities abroad, what you will see and the training you will get will be far, far different from what you see around here. And I mean, most of the modern universities that were seen today, I'm not sure how many years it took them to acquire such large scale, of equipment. If you've been to Imperial College, for example, which is arguably the best engineering school in Europe, actually. I'm sure the telephone came from the engineering equipment that are in Imperial. You will be shocked at what you're going to see. And so when you get people trained in this environment, there are things that come to their mind and the opportunities come up. In my humble life, after coming back from LSE, I worked in UK, then I went to AFT. I was there for 1.5 years after November. I understand, and a lot of foreigners and white people want skills and progress. You're able to see this different. Your mindset is different from what you see. If you train in Lagos, in Mado, maybe in Zaria, Edinburgh, all those cities, your local knowledge are things you will see. By the time you mix further, your perception, you start seeing where hard work and knowledge and skills come together to produce results and successes. That way, you achieve. I always say it, if my father has 10 houses in the Bible, for example, or build a whole street and they name the street after me, after 30 years, I'm not sure those houses will be as valuable as we believe they will be. But if my father built 2 houses and used the money for the other 8 to send us to build our mind, maybe in 30 years, maybe we will have done 30 houses or something like somewhere, and the mind itself will continue to produce better minds as we go on. For me, First Bank, as a bank, we support parents who are able to afford it. Again, it's not something that we should go into, but I've seen many people who are trying to just send kids abroad when they cannot afford it. And I'll tell them, please and please, there's no point killing yourself before death, because as my mom will say, if you die today, they will not bury you in my leg. So you just know that there are limits. Whatever you cannot afford, there's no point going into it. But if you can afford it, think about it that you are building mind. And that when you leave, when you depart this world, and these kids are there, what will it look like? Even when you are old, let's assume you are in your 70s or 80s, and you see your kids that went abroad, got trained, they are doing better, they can talk to you, their mindset is different, you can see opportunities, you can see anything around them. It makes you happier as a parent. You know, even when you are dying with grace. So you can imagine when, if you are 80 and you say, Bola, come here, take this one. Bola, hey, this one, I'll go and take care of your brothers and come back to me. And everybody is talking well, you are seeing things, perspectives have changed and all kind of things. Like generations coming behind, will always appreciate that single thing. There's one particular book that we used to read in those days. These children of slaves that were able to escape to US, they developed to become great leaders just because those slaves were able to touch America and they able to mix with people, so their perception changed and they came into education. And so if you see the changes that came with that, even if you just check people that went to UK in the 70s, in the 60s, they went to either Emmy Roof, the College of Accountancy, all kind of things, and came back and all that. Their generation after them were greatly successful because they have different perception about what life is. It's different from somebody who is just coming to understand what life is all about. So I thank you, and I will say to you at one time that First Bank will support. But First Bank will support where you have capacity, and we have parents. Of course, we give our cards, we have our money transfer services, we have our card. My own kids, they have First Bank card, because so I can just put money in their account, they can spend. So I know how much I can gauge, how much they can spend in the month, and I put in their account. So when the card finishes, they know that the card is finished. and then you can allow them to do. In other words, you don't have to put pressure on yourself. Whatever you can afford, monthly basis goes into feed them and responsible pay school fees, and then you're able to manage through. It's also important that we don't allow our kids to go on frivolous programs, because there's no point spending all your life on frivolous programs, and when the kids are bad, you ask yourself, what has he done? And his friends. Thank you, and have a wonderful conference.
It belies the mighty man behind that voice, the soft-spoken. People are very deep. They don't shout. They don't make so much noise. They don't scream. And so you know that that's a very deep